Good morning, everyone. I'm Danny from Mysterious Things Tarot. If you haven't been here before, welcome. Well, I say it every week. It's been a week. So we're going to go over the news of the day and talk about a few things that have been happening and maybe what's going to be happening. I have a really fun story at the end, so be sure to stay till the end. But I have something very serious to talk about. Let me see. I got threatened online today. Well, the joke's on them because my Wi-Fi connection is so bad that the threat hasn't even loaded yet. Well, no, seriously, someone threatened my life. This is my first threat. I don't know whether to feel thrilled or afraid. I was threatened online today after I said Charlie Kirk was just a man. He was fallible. He was human. He wasn't a martyr. He wasn't a leader. Not in that sense. And although what happened to him should never have happened, we need to focus on supporting his family. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know. I don't think that was a bad statement. But someone came on and said, "It looks like you're next." And I have to tell you, it took me a beat. And I know these things happen online and people talk way too much. But this was my local community page. This wasn't a YouTube thing. It wasn't a X or Twitter or something large. It was my local community person wants me dead. Anyway, whatever. I'm sending him love and light and enlightenment. And I keep that phrase, "they know not what they do," keeps going in through my head. And I even think maybe Charlie Kirk's wife said that, although in a very malicious way. But in some ways, I can't blame people for the rhetoric that they've been fed for so long. This is out of control in this country. And you have to say something more evil and more bizarre and more loud to get any notice. And people want that attention. I think it's inherent in people that they want attention. I'm sorry for this gentleman. And I'm sorry for our country that we have to go through this. And I'm a little bit nervous. So let's all that bad energy and go on to something else. First, today I want to talk about Trump's tariffs. See if I can bring this up. I don't think that's big enough. Let's see if we can find one that's there. So the Trump administration recently ended the de minimis rule, which had allowed Americans to buy goods under $800 from overseas without tariffs or processing fees. As a result, many hobbyists, from knitters and anime figure collectors to retro computer enthusiasts and fencers, are now facing higher costs, higher shipping disruptions, or losing access to their hobbies entirely. Now, confusion is pretty widespread. People don't know what tariffs apply, how to pay them, whether their orders will arrive. Some foreign sellers have stopped shipping to the U.S., while many buyers report packages stuck in customs or fees exceeding the value of their purchase. Subreddits for UPS show customers receiving customs bills for hundreds or thousands of dollars. And on top of tariffs, buyers have to pay brokerage fees from carriers like UPS and FedEx. And that further inflates the cost and the frustration. So I'm going to take a look at this. I was watching a video of a person who said the item that they got wasn't from China, it was actually from Europe. And the item cost somewhere around $40 or $50. And with the tariffs that he got, the item was like $750 worth of tariffs. And then there were another $100 worth of brokerage fees. People can't afford that. Has this affected you guys? Is anybody losing out on their hobbies because they can't afford to do it anymore? Some things you just cannot get made here in the U.S. So I'm going to take a look at that right now and see what we can see what's up with that. Is Trump going to back off on his de minimis ruling? Is he going to let it go through or back taco it, chicken out on it? And although I don't think Trump is in charge, so I'm going to say the administration. Let's ask about the administration. Is the administration going to back off on the de minimis? On the elimination of the de minimis rule. Okay, let's see what we got. First up is the Queen of Cups. Let's see if I can get this up here. So the Queen of Cups, people are really emotional about this. They're really upset. I mean, I can't. This is just a hobby, but think about something that you really need, some sort of medical device or something and you can't get it because of the cost. People are really emotional, and it's causing huge upheaval. Yeah. Well, it's 50-50, there's a lot there are a lot of struggles that I have to go with this. That there's how are they going to track it, and how are they going to I don't I'm getting the feeling that they're not backing off on this, that it's just too complicated, and people are hugely upset. A lot of information. See if I can get that so you can see a lot of information out there. I mean, there's so many things, the trade negotiations, the implementation, the backlash, the congressional pressure, legal challenges. This says that it's a good ending, that they will be emotionally happy. So maybe he'll back off on this somehow, or at least try to get some relief for certain things that are coming in. So I'm going to pull one more clarifying card. 10 of Cups. something new. They might come up with something new that this is not working and they know it's not working. And so they're going to come up with something new. Very interesting. De minimis. We'll see if the legal challenges and things like that are going to help it. Okay. So the next thing we have the Trump. Oh no, that's not it. This is, oh, okay, I'm going to run it again, but the Congress met again about the UFOs. This is, I think, their third meeting. And they had some really extraordinary footage of this object being hit by a military weapon. And it just bounced off the UFO. And you can see, as you look at this, if you haven't seen it, the pieces came off of it, but they continued right along in the same trajectory as the original unit. So, like something explodes, right? It usually goes off in all kinds of different directions. But this, they just kept going along with it. So this was shared by Representative Eric Burleson. He was a Republican from Missouri during the disclosure hearing on Capitol Hill on Tuesday. And it shows a Hellfire missile fired by a U.S. military drone striking a glowing orb that flew off the coast of Yemen. So I'm going to let you take a look at it and see what you think. There it comes. Boom. Now look at the pieces. They go right along with it. They don't go off in any other direction. They're continuing on the same trajectory. Here's a little farther away.
This is when it zoomed out, so you can still see it traveling. So, Mr. Knapp, have you heard about events like this occurring? And what information might you have?
I have heard about events like this. I have heard about this event. Jeremy Corbell and I talked about it in one of our episodes a while back. We did not have the video, though. There are servers where there's a whole bank of these kind of videos that Congress has not been allowed to see, that the public hasn't been allowed to see. Occasionally, some of that stuff gets out in the wild and it comes our way. It should be going to you. The public should be seeing this stuff.
Okay. Why isn't the public seeing this stuff? I have another little thing on George Knapp, and I'll show you in just a second. But I want to know why is the UFO videos and information being withheld from the public? I mean, I think it should be disclosed. Why is it being held, and when will it be disclosed? I guess those are the two questions I know. First, why is it being held? I'm using the Pulp Tarot cards for this. Whoa. Okay, so the first one is they're waiting. They're waiting. They're trying to get information, but they're not ready to disclose it yet. there's quite a bit of infighting going on, that some want it disclosed and some don't. And so they're going through all of that kind of thing. And of course, it has to do with money. There are a lot of big contractors out there that are dealing with reverse engineering on UFO things, and they're making a lot of money. If that was disclosed, would they still have those contracts that are shady, that are behind the scenes, that are not open for public bid? They would just chose these contractors and said, you're going to take care of this. And this Sword of Truth, Page of Swords, is, we're going to get a little bit of information. They're going to cut out little pieces and give it to us, but there's no full disclosure coming anytime soon. But in this one there's a tower. So there's going to come a moment here where they can't deny it. There's nothing they can do to deny it. And, let's see a little bit more about when that's going to be. So that comes into my second question, is when are we going to get disclosure about the UFO phenomenon? Knight of Pentacles, it has to do with money. It has to do with he's got his feet planted in the ground. They're kind of waiting. Nobody's really has all, at least in the government has, or whoever's behind holding the information back, has it isn't painful enough for them to give us the information. We have a King of Cups. It's very emotional. Very emotional. It comes from the head. They're not going to release it yet. They don't think we're ready for it. They have kept it all boxed up, and they are not going to let us see it anytime soon. Oh, while they're squirreling away pieces of information that they want to keep to themselves or sell to whomever, but they're keeping pieces of it away. Let's clarify with some more questions. Okay. I asked when. When is this going to happen? When are we going to get full disclosure? The devil. I would think in this context, the devil is the military, and they don't want to let that information out. They have all the goods, they have all the money, they have all the information, and they're sitting on it. Now there's some Knight of Wands. There's going to be some person, I think, that is going to prod this into coming out, that some pieces are going to come out, and probably pretty soon. That because we also have the Chariot. So with the Knight of Wands that has the engine, and the Chariot which has the power, we're going to see something, because the last card was the Sun. So they have, this is going on here. They want to keep it. They're trying to take pieces out of it and keep it. Maybe just let a few things out, just like this congressional meeting. This got out, but was it let out on purpose? So little pieces here and there. And then that I don't think that committee's going to stop. I think that committee is going to go full tilt and push and push and push until they get an outcome that they like. So, what do you think? So I have a little bit about George Knapp. You saw him in that video. And why were they interviewing him? You know, he is an ex-journalist. I guess once a journalist, always a journalist. I don't know. But I don't think he's working for anyone right now. He does have a podcast. And in the 90s, when he was still a working journalist, he went to Russia and was able to smuggle out of Russia some of their UFO information. Let me see if I can, shuffling, get this information for you. Come on, come up. Remove. Add to state. There we go. So it says George Knapp. Oh, I can't see that. Let's see if I can pull it up so that I can read it to you. Okay, here we go. So George Knapp has written testimony to Congress on September 9th. In his submitted statement, Knapp explained that during visits to Moscow in 1993 and 1996, he obtained classified UFO documents from the Russian Ministry of Defense and affiliated organizations. The task force now has copies of documents that I obtained from the Russian Ministry of Defense and from affiliated organizations back in the 90s. I was asked to share the most important papers with BAASS and the DIA, and so did so because I wanted someone way smarter than me to figure out whether they are legit and what they mean. These files described a 10-year Soviet UFO study between 1978 and 1988, requiring every sighting to be investigated and reported. 40-plus attempted interceptions of UFOs by Russian fighter jets, 3 ending in crashes, and 2 pilot deaths. A 1982 Ukraine missile-based incident where UFOs allegedly triggered launch codes before vanishing, and a secret unit 73790 overseeing multiple Russian UFO research programs. During the public hearing, he was asked, how in the world did you smuggle this out of Russia? And George Knapp said, carefully. He later shared the files with BASS, the Bigelow Aerospace, and the Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, during the OSAP program for translation and analysis. And analysts confirmed that the Russians had undertaken the largest UFO investigation in world history and were actively trying to reverse engineer UFO technology. So, George Knapp is an interesting character. He did go on to say, after he was pressured a little bit, how he got the documents out. He said he threw them in the bottom of his suitcase, put a bunch of caviar on top, and went right through the airline checkpoints. Well, of course, in the 70s and 80s and 90s, the airline checkpoints weren't what they are today. So very easy to get through. He said he was sweating it, but that's how he did it. So let's I want to ask about George Knapp. What do we see George Knapp's role in the, whoa, I've got things coming out already. In the role of disclosure. You know, we want judgment, and it's a balancing act on what they can give and what they can't. But George is really in a box. He has this information. He's working with the UFO committee, but he doesn't have the information. He only has that background information and some new stuff that they're still working through, but he doesn't have the information on the United States that he would like. This is still all being kept secret, and they're still hiding things away. So same old stuff going on with our government and the UFOs. Let's see if we got any more information here about George Knapp. Yeah, he's going to continue to do it. He's really believes in this, and he's very strong about it. He's very emotional. He's talking to people that are on his side now, the Congress, and they want to see this information too. But the emperor that is keeping that all under wraps. It's kind of like I have the information and you don't get it. It's kind of like feels like a childhood taunt almost. It's 9 swords, ending is something. So is it the end of their hiding and childishness? Let's see what we can get here. Ooh, all bound up. Yeah, they're keeping, they're letting him speak, but they're keeping him under wraps. They're not letting him say anything important. And we've got the 5 of Cups. So, the information. There's 2 cups standing back there. There's information back there, but the information that's being given out is old news. It's going to be a real fight to getting the information out. It actually may come from outside the U.S. before anything comes from inside the U.S. Okay, George, well, I wish you well. I'd really like to know. Oh, or would I? But yeah, I would really like to know. Okay, so the last thing that I have, I do have some information about Epstein, and I just wanted to go over it. I don't want to let this go away because we have all of the stuff going on about Charlie Kirk and all of that. I don't want Epstein stuff to get buried. So I do want to give you a little bit of the timeline of what has been happening this week with the Charlie Epstein case. And I'm going to pull some cards on that, and I'm going to use my own deck. So this is the deck I made. It is a personal oracle deck. And if you would like more information about it, I will leave it in the comments below. What I want to know is about Epstein and if the Epstein file information is going to go away or if we're going to get more information. Are they going to let more information out, or can they keep it secret? Okay. So September 7th, The Guardian reported that survivors frustrated with DOJ's lack of outreach, despite the promises, were frustrated. The Senate Republicans blocked an amendment in defense bill that would have required the release of Epstein's full federal case files. That was last Sunday. Okay. Monday, the House Oversight Committee released the Epstein estate documents, that 50th birthday book. And if you haven't seen that images from that, I suggest that you go look at them. They are it was definitely an open secret that about Jeffrey and young girls and the sex parties. I mean, the book was all about that. His will, his book of contacts, and some more investigation files were also released on Monday. And that letter, allegedly signed by Donald Trump in the birthday book, was out and about again, and there was on TV trying to deny it and all that. Then on Thursday, September 11th, Bloomberg published 18,000 Maxwell Epstein emails, and it showed her opening foreign bank accounts and serving as director of Epstein's companies and planning smear campaigns against those girls. Disgusting. She belongs back in that nasty Florida prison and out of that cushy place she's at. She's disgusting. September 12th, Friday, the Treasury Department agreed to share the Epstein-related financial records with the House Oversight Committee. That estimated financial trail is at least $1.5 billion in transactions. Well, that's going to take a while to get through. And then yesterday, September 13th, Senator Ron Wyden, that's my senator, he introduces the Petra bill. It is Produce Epstein Treasury Records Act to mandate the release of the full Treasury records. And the UK ambassador to the US, Mandelson, was dismissed over the birthday book and the emails. Thank you, UK. Wish we could have had a backbone here that we could be able to do that also. So I'm going to is this going to stay in the news? Can we keep the heat on? Let's see what it says. Answer to the question. Yep. We want the answer to the question. Yeah, the storm is brewing. Oh, there's a significant connection that's going to come out this week. Ooh, somebody we haven't heard of, or somebody we're going to get verification of. The barriers are going to get lifted. That leads me to believe that Wyden's Petra thing is going to pass. And we're going to all be happy about that. We're also going to get some messages from beyond, and maybe that's messages from Jeffrey himself, in that some of this information is going to be in Jeffrey's own hand. That's what I'm getting. And it's going to be so much information. It's going to be cognitive overload. You're going to need to make sure that you take a step back, take a breath. There's a lot going on right now, lots of turmoil. We thought there was turmoil before, and now with this assassination it's reached a boiling point in this country. I think everybody needs to take a breath. And I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the internet, and I know that you all want to respond to it because you say, that's wrong. That's wrong. Let me respond. Let me help you with the truth. Don't do it. Don't do it. What happens is the internet finds the most outrageous things because those are the things that get the most eyes on them. And so we think that's really what's going on. Everybody thinks that there's this huge, huge, huge thing going on when really it's whatever the internet and those bro boys have programmed it that way, finds the most outrageous. So to tamp that down, don't look at it. Don't look at it. Don't give it your power because you are part of the problem. You're causing this. Back up. Don't look at it. Let those of us that want to bring you the information later, let us bring you the information. But you don't have to go through every post on Facebook and deny something happened or try to set the record straight. You don't have to watch every video on YouTube. Go do your thing. Have a nice day. So, on my soapbox here. All right. Well, I do want to pull an empowerment card. Oh, I have the one feel-good story for you that I haven't got on here yet. Before we do the empowerment card, let's do this. Okay.
So I'm so glad you chased down the story today. When fermented peaches turned a dumpster into danger, longtime Letcher County nurse Misty Combs stepped in to save the day.
It is truly the kind of story that makes you say, only in Kentucky.
Have you ever had a crazier day on the job than this?
I've had some pretty crazy days, but no, nothing like this.
Just when Misty Combs thought she'd seen it all in her 21 years of nursing,
Oh, it's baby stuck is why.
a dumpster diving drunk turned up at the health department.
So our health department is right beside of Kentucky Miss Moonshine, which is a distillery. And they had put some fermented peaches in their dumpster. And I guess the two baby raccoons had got into the dumpster and they were stuck.
Drunk as a skunk, tried tipsy as a trash panda.
I went over there and I was like, we have to get them out. And I mean, because I guess that was just like the motherly instinct in me. Like I seen that mama and she was trying so hard to get her babies back, but she didn't know what to do.
Combs grabbed a shovel and scooped out the first raccoon, reuniting it with its mom. But the second one was in deep moonshine. Without hesitation, she grabbed him by the tail and laid him down.
Everybody that was around was like, it's dead. I mean, it's just not going to make it. And it was not breathing and it had drowned and it was full of water. Like you could feel the water in it. So, I mean, immediately I just started doing CPR on it.
Suddenly, a sign of life.
Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. The entire time I was doing it, I was sort of afraid that it would come to and eat me up. And, you know, raccoons carry rabies, so I was afraid of that.
Fish and Wildlife responded before the town drunk turned into a mean drunk. They transported the little guy to get sobered up at the local vet.
Did you just go back to work after that and get back to a normal day on the job?
I sure did.
When Otis Campbell, named for the infamous Andy Griffith Show character, of course, made his return to the health department, Combs had the honor of reuniting him with his family.
That just tickled me. A little drunk raccoon. I hope it was fun for you too. Okay, now we can do the empowerment card for the week. I'm pulling from this empowerment card deck for Inspired Living. And I'm going to shuffle here and see what we pull for the week. I'm still tickled about that little raccoon. Oh, the poor little guy. Luckily, the nurse knew what to do, or he wouldn't have made it. Okay, here's the card. It says treat. Treat yourself. Turn the daily tasks of taking a bath, combing your hair, and brushing your teeth into beauty treatment rituals. Make these moments your special, life-affirming times. Treat yourself. Let's see if we can do it there. There we go. Oh, everybody have a wonderful week. Stay off the internet, and I'll see you next Sunday. Okay? Bye-bye.